Welcome to the Forsyth Magazines podcast. I'm Brooke Eagle, your host, bringing you the stories of the people shaping our community. From business owners to local leaders, we'll explore their journeys, passions, and lessons learned. Let's dive in. Hey guys, it's Brooke, and we are back with another podcast episode. And today I have three of my favorite guests. They've been on a few times before. I have Matt, Katy, and Joseph from Dynamis Estate Wines. Matt and Katy are the co-owners and winemakers, and Joseph is also a co-owner and the vineyard and orchard manager. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Hey, great to be here.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Round two.
So today they took note because last time Tim mentioned they should bring some wine for us to taste,
Right.
and they did in the most fancy glasses I've ever seen. I got to say, with wine, the thinner the glass, the better. I don't like drinking out of a thick
Chunky
wine glass. Yeah. Is that just me, or is there science behind
I
that?
think it feels more elegant in the hand. You can kind of swirl them better.
I feel like it tastes better. It's probably in my head.
There's something to that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this wine that we have that none of us have tasted yet, but we're going to, even though it's 11 a.m.
I just tasted it.
Hey. Well, if you go to Europe, they're drinking all day. So
Hey, yeah.
Our tasting room opens at 11.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
it's time.
Yeah, it is
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
It
we're
is
within
time.
business hours here.
Yeah, this is the Alpha 21. Alpha being a fanciful name for a blend. It is 75% Cab Sauv, so legally speaking, it's a Cab Sauv, 25% Petit Verdot, and this was the first 95-point wine from wine enthusiasts in the history of North Carolina.
Wow.
So this is a big deal for us. And we had multiple 95 points in 2025, so it was a big year.
I'm assuming 95 out of 100.
95 out of 100.
Wow, that's incredible.
A+.
A+.
Yeah, you can't get much higher than that.
No, we will, but
Now you're like, the pressure's on.
Well, just for how long it's taken for people to get higher critic scores
Yeah.
in the state and get some recognition, and this was some milestone breaking stuff. So we're super excited to have
You
it.
should be. You should be proud of that.
Yeah, on
So
a national scale, it really kind of breaks the mold, of the potential for North Carolina, or, people have a preconceived notion of maybe what types of wines are produced here, and there's maybe a ceiling to the quality, but there's not.
Yeah.
If we just
if
proved
you
a lot
got
of
the right people
wrong.
behind it.
Yeah, well, yeah, the right site, the right vineyard, the right grapes, and then the right people.
Yes.
And process.
We
you
always
can-
like
you
to
can make it all happen.
say people, place, and time.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
takes all of them.
all of those things together.
We're kind of going to hop around because I want to back up, but what makes the Dynamis property a little bit different than than a lot of other North Carolina vineyards?
We're the eastern most section of the Blue Ridge Mountain Range. It's the first mountain range you get to in North Carolina, and that's where it all starts. So because of that, we've got the geology under our feet. So we've got a lot of rocky deposits sitting on our mountaintop vineyard. It's the highest point in Yadkin County, sitting at 1,640 feet. The pinnacle's at 1,750. But we got a great perspective, because the surrounding town around us is about 1,000 feet elevation. So we've got this really nice, 700-foot elevation gain when you come in the gate. So, yeah, we've got favorable elevation, which means higher high temps and lower low temps. So a nice diurnal swing there, which can help with ripening the fruit. But really, the topography up there, we've got slope vineyard sites, which is a must on the East Coast. The best fruit comes from the best sites. Grapevine's like a site with a view. These are the words I always say, but it's so true because it really helps set the stage for the soils to be well drained, the fruit to ripen properly, and really hang out there for the full extent of the season. And then the other big thing we do is really control the quantity of fruit produced. It's all about quality, not quantity for our site. So that means we're really, reducing our yields, limiting the amount of fruit per vine. Really right now with our pruning decisions, that's what the crew's doing right now, is going through in the winter and making all the final prune decisions. And we really limit the yield from the start. We go all in and go for higher quality. So that's a little bit behind the success of our site and our process.
Yeah, it's so interesting how much science is involved in winemaking to me. But for listeners who maybe have not visited Dynamis yet, I want each of you to kind of describe the Dynamis experience in a couple sentences. What can they expect?
Couple sentences. Eye-opening, educational tasting, and unique curated experiences, regardless of what level of wine drinker you are.
Yeah.
2 sentences.
That's good. What about you, Katie?
To me, as a customer coming in, I think really what's important is the seated and guided tasting experience. But you get to unwind, so to speak, before you even get to the tasting lodge. So you get to kind of decompress as you come up, and not 2 sentences, but
That's okay.
I think it's also important to say that wine is the number one focus. We focus on that, and like to think that we do it pretty well. So.
Yeah. What about you, Joseph?
An immersive sensory experience that will change your mind about North Carolina wines.
Oh, it's like he prepared for that question.
Well, I had a little time to think.
Wow.
That's what I wanted to say.
I was the third person.
Yeah.
So.
We're gonna make you go first for the next
Right.
question.
That's an interesting challenge, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's
Yeah.
And I think something that y'all didn't talk about that I personally just love is the views up there are just beautiful. Like I always say it doesn't even feel like you're in North Carolina. Like it's such a different vibe than any other winery I've ever been to as far as the views.
Yeah, a lot of
and
people
of course
say
the
that.
wine.
You know, you kind of we're a hop skipping away from the exit on I-77. So you get off I-77 and you kind of step into another world. You know, and a lot of that has to do with the elevation gain and then the expansive size of the property. It's a 1,500 acre parcel. It's huge. Could have been a state park. You know, it's a 2.5 mile ride from the front gate to the tasting room. So by the time you get there, you've already had this sort of experience in itself of just a self-guided tour of the property, getting to see all the vineyard blocks and kind of seeing what the ridgeline's all about up there.
Yeah, it is really neat driving up from the gate. You said it's 2.5 miles. Yeah, I mean, and it takes a minute because obviously you're not flying through there, and you don't want to because it's just a beautiful scenery the whole way up. And it feels like this can't possibly be like a winery when I get here. It's too much nature, but you just plopped it in there. It's perfect.
Hey, can I say I'm looking at the wine in the glass, and while it's tipped like this, while I'm doing my front or nose thing, it looks like the wine is smiling at me.
Yeah, that's what we try to put in it for you.
It has the legs. What are tell me because I'm not a very wine connoisseur person. Like the swishing, the legs.
Yeah.
What are all the things we should be looking for in wine?
The legs are kind of just more of a fun thing. It's not really indicative of quality, which is like an old myth.
Okay.
It's really ethanol. That's really what creates the legs. But the swirling wine is full of volatile aromatic compounds, and to wake them up, they need oxygen. So to kind of start that chemical reaction,
Wake up.
you give it a good swirl to open that up and start working some oxygen into the wine.
I've seen people on Instagram put a frother inside the wine. What are your thoughts on that?
We know a guy that's extremely well respected in the wine community that does exactly that.
Really?
And it's almost just like a hyper ox, like versus if you don't have 2-3 hours to decant some wine.
Yeah.
In theory, you know, a quick little could open that one up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think you could overdo it. So it's
Yeah,
more of
no doubt.
just like,
Especially with some white wines,
yeah, we've been meaning to give it a try.
volatile compounds.
Yeah, if it's a really aromatic white, you might lose all your aromatics.
Do you why do I keep saying swish? What's
Swirl.
the word?
Yeah,
Swirl.
swirl.
Do you do it? Is there a different method for red versus white?
Oh, not really. It's sometimes the glasses are different, but for us, we just use these number 3s from Josephine for everything.
Yeah.
Red, white, sparkling, rosé.
And you guys have all of those, right?
We, as far as the wine categories go,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, we're working on the sparkling.
Okay. Okay. Tell me your favorite. I want to hear from everybody. We'll make Joseph go first this time. Your favorite wine that you guys have created thus far.
Okay. I usually could say Cabernet Sauvignon. That's still a personal go-to, but I suppose my favorite product these days would be our Palmo, and that's our product from the orchard. You know, the vineyard, of course, is our best foot forward and where we spend most of our time and energy focusing on. But the Palmo's neat because it's this apple product. Palm O standing for apple water, and it's a really nice dessert product, or it could be poured as an aperitif. But it's 1 part apple brandy, 2 parts apple cider, aged in a dessert white wine barrel, and it's just a really fabulous product. And we're happy to add it to our inventory to be able to serve with desserts. We had a really fantastic wine dinner at the Catherine this past weekend, and we were able to pair that with a sweet potato pie, which was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
Yum.
So that's I think my current fave.
Yeah. I didn't even know y'all had that. Is it considered a wine, or what would be the category?
It's a fortified wine.
Okay.
So yeah, what is it?
government.
19.5% alcohol. So it's a higher alcohol. You know, you're sipping smaller amounts.
Yeah.
Not
kinda
quite
thing with
apple
dessert.
water, like the name would
Yeah,
suggest.
not at all.
Yeah.
It's a really refined apple product and fits well with the Dynamis brand. And we've, since taken the effort to replant some of the existing orchard with French cider varieties, English cider varieties, American cider varieties. So we've got some really great things ahead for that product line.
Yeah. Maybe a dumb question, but what kind of apples do y'all have up there?
We have a wide range of different varieties, but some commercial varieties like Red Fuji, Golden Delicious, Wine Sap, to name a few.
There's
And
so many
there's a
types
lot.
of apples.
There's a
It's
lot.
overwhelming.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Yeah.
Enterprise, Jonathan, Empire. Those are all from New York. You may have never heard of them, but
I
they're
have
really
not heard
great
of those.
eating apples.
Yeah.
And then we have some that aren't tailored for eating. They're just cider apples. So they're smaller. They're more tannic and bitter, acidic. Really the things that you look for in good quality fermentation products. So
Yeah.
we're excited to see what the future brings when we start blending with some of the cider varieties that will really be coming online this year.
So you guys will be doing some ciders too.
Not under the Dynamis line.
Yeah.
It's more along the strategy of just keeping a higher end refined product, such as the Palmo. It's got that barrel character. It's a really nice product. So that's mainly what we're using for the orchard focus. A little bit of U-Pick as well in the future. So some
Yeah.
fun community engagement there for our wine club members and folks that are interested in coming up and seeing a different side of the mountain.
So when you say fortified wine, does that mean you can stand behind it and you're protected? What does fortified mean? I don't know.
So, well, that's the cool thing about it as well, because we, in the winery, we fermented it pretty much into an apple wine stage, and then we work with a local distiller that turns that into apple brandy for us.
Okay.
And so when we're fortifying, we're adding that brandy back into it, just as you would, like, say, a port style wine or
I love port.
something like that. Because this is barely fermented apple juice, pretty much.
Yes.
And then we're adding that, and at that point, it really tastes more like a cocktail than it does anything else. And then when we barrel age it for 2.5 years, it really
2.5 years. Jeez.
it really
Patience is
takes
key.
that time.
Yeah.
Is that like,
worth it.
do you call that, or in your head, trash time? Because you can't do anything with it, right? You put it and then you hope for the best. Is that how that works?
Like for barrel aging,
Yes.
We continue to taste to
Yeah.
kind of to see when we feel like it's been ready, because this is the first time we did the Palmo.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of research on it, tasted other Palmos, and
Yeah, when I say trash, I don't mean your product's trash. I mean
Right,
it's just empty time that
it's a waiting game for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
We still have to babysit a little bit.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
So okay, so I've always been fascinated by this. In that time, how do you know what you're tasting? if you're not at the final product and you're tasting along the way,
Yeah.
how do you know you're on the right track?
Well, it's the way you would taste any wine. So like pretend it is a finished product and just evaluate it. And we're looking at, field blends to individual varietal lots. If we have Cabernet Sauvignon and we have Merlot over here, and we can taste both of them, say, I really like, X, Y, and Z about this cab, and I really like this about this Merlot, but maybe it's missing something. But I can go ahead and say, hey, I tasted that in that cab. That's what that's missing. So we're going to predestine that to work together in a blend.
Okay.
But as far as we can't really make any like changes, it's just more of once it's in the barrel and we're just being patient. That wine's going to develop, open up. You're going to start getting some tannins from the barrels. So our reds too, they're all new French oak. So there's actually a decent impact from the aging process to what goes into it. So from the raw material to even, say 6 months, it starts to kind of taste like a wine. And wine out of the tank is wine, but it is a different experience.
What does it taste like at that point?
It's just wild and raw, and like Petit Verdot, for example, we always say if you can stomach it out of a tank right after it's fermented, you probably
You did it
wrong.
Right.
Because we have some Petit Verdot that's been in barrel for over 30 months.
But we'll start doing we call it pre-blending trials and stuff on our harvest from the previous vintage, say in May of that next year. So yeah, about 6 months in, we start to get a good idea of the progression and kind of can see our minds where this would fit in a blend and what blend it would fit in.
So basically, you just keep tasting until you're like, that's it.
Yeah, kind of, and blending. Yeah, so
It's a lot of patience,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's blending for months and months and months, and we'll make decisions, right there at the end sometimes, and it's it's a fun part of the process.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a huge line of discovery and being excited. I always try to set ourselves up to be surprised. I'm always very negative at first. 'Cause it's sometimes a problem to walk into a winemaker and be like, everything's great, everything's perfect. I'm like, there ain't no way.
Yeah.
But
Well, we could have a whole conversation on blending, but I would say blending is very important to us as far as we never rush it. And there's some wineries that'll like have a few options and then just kind of put it to bed. But for us, it's important to take our time, taste it again, wait a while, and then be sure before we pull the trigger on an actual tank of wine that we're blending it all together.
So this is the last question I'll ask on this because I know I've gone over my time. When you get to the end or your perceived end, how tempting is it to say, well, just one more week? I think one more week you'll do it. And the other one's like, no, I think it's
Because
ready
you could
now.
go too long, I guess, couldn't you?
You can, yeah. You can over extract barrels. You can put too much oxygen into that wine.
Yeah.
I guess it's the final destination to
You guys ever disagree
all the time.
on when it's time?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Somehow we always come together
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make a decision. But and then we've made decisions as well to let it age and bottle for a bit longer before we release it as well.
Reason being, so we don't use fine agents. That's the other thing too. So what we're tasting for is maturity of the tannins and how it feels on your palate.
Yeah.
So if it's still kind of gritty and maybe slightly astringent, or you have a bitter finish, we'll have to wait it out.
Yeah.
Or blend it out because we don't do the egg whites or gelatin so there's no
Egg
animal
whites.
products.
People
involved.
put egg whites in their wine.
Oh yeah. It's not like a crazy thing to do. Like a lot of even high-end wineries will still do it.
Yeah. What does
it's
that
just something
do?
we,
Expedite the process?
So it finds the tannins out. So it's grabbing onto those rougher tannins and dropping those out of solution, and almost like a egg white in a cocktail.
Yeah.
It makes it kind of like really smooth and frothy.
Huh.
But
I'm learning so much.
yeah. So we just kind of take the vegan stance on the winemaking, and that just ties in with our ideology of minimalism.
Yeah.
We don't
I like
add
that.
things to it. We don't do any, I swear, like nothing from the, once it's picked from the vineyard, we're not changing the sugar, the acid, the tannins. It is what it is. And true to form, terroir expression. Winemaking.
Yeah, we're all estate product, as our name would suggest. So to us, it was really important to showcase the property and the wines that we can produce up there. And we felt like if we were manipulating, then it wasn't really being true to that.
Yeah,
So-
that's fair. Okay, so I just realized we only heard Joseph's favorite. Katie, what's your
Got
favorite
on a
wine that y'all have
tangent.
ever made?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ever made.
That's okay.
Well, to me, and I say this a lot, but to me, it's Cabernet Sauvignon because I think it's such a great expression and very rare on the East Coast as a whole to make a true to form, structured, well ripened and developed Cabernet Sauvignon, and so it's something that I never thought I would want to work with.
Yeah.
Especially North Carolina, but
Because isn't North Carolina kind of like stereotypically known for like the sweeter white wines, and some maybe not. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
I think it used to, but
Yeah.
Back in the old
carried,
days.
that carried over. I mean, muscadine
yeah,
is easy.
yeah.
but also the growing season of Cabernet Sauvignon, a lot of times when it's ready to harvest cab, it's, I would say, hurricane season. So it really takes some time and patience and
Risk.
hedging our bets. Yeah. So
High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Diamond hands.
I
for
do have
sure.
to do a tiny plug for my favorite wine of the year, I'd say, from Dynamis is our Fumé Rouge,
Oh, yeah.
which is our Fumé line of wines. We do a Fumé Blanc as well. Is a wine club exclusive wine that we do.
Okay.
Really small quantities of wine, but usually only about 100 cases per lot. But this is a wine that was Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot, and it was all picked on the same day, all fermented in the same oak tank.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of cool, blending before it even becomes wine, and it was our first 2020 release of our reds.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
been pretty well received, I'd say. A few cases left to sell. We released it a couple weeks ago. So, but it's a really exciting thing for our wine club members. It's kind of a thank you to them, and
A tip of the cap.
we like
Yeah.
to
I love it.
release some wines just for them too.
So is it smoky?
No,
Oh,
it's
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
well, we started with the Fumé Blanc, barrel aged Sauvignon Blanc, but then with the Fumé Rouge, it was kind of we were really looking at a Languedoc Cabernet Franc style of wine, and since it's Cabernet Franc heavy, we really felt like it fit the bill there.
Okay.
You're on the right track with the root of the word.
Yeah.
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 Fumé in French is smoke.
Oaky,
Yeah.
smoky, oaky, or kind of
Yeah.
like interchangeable
Yeah.
terms in the wine industry.
Sure.
It just means oak.
Okay.
Essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that makes
Yeah.
because it is usually smoked.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people will like smell it and say, "Am I getting a lot of smokiness?"
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be smoky.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I do see why they'd say that.
All right, Matt, what's your favorite wine?
I'm gonna do an early call on a wine. I'm gonna do 2025 Cab Sauv.
All right.
Yeah.
Curveball.
A
Seriously.
wine that
That's a long way to go.
So it's not ready yet.
No, but you said
you're
that
loving
we've
it.
ever made. Yeah, so I can call it this early. I've never seen a Cab Sauv for as young as it is right now. How complete it is, structure wise, color, fruit balance, acid. It is the best.
Wow.
It's
So
a
when
one-
it's that young, it's a prodigy.
I'm already on it. Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
gonna do big things. I can tell.
I'm curious, like for the different wines, what is the approximate aging time for each?
Yeah, let's say for reds, it's like we've done as little as 20 months and as late as 28 months.
Okay.
But so we have some Petit Verdots that are like 35 months. Like there's some single lots that have sat around for a bit longer.
Yeah.
Whites
in barrel, and then we'll usually bottle age for at least a few months for the reds before we release it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
whites and rosés 6-7 months.
Okay.
Usually stainless steel concrete. Barrel
Fumé
whites.
Blanc,
Yeah.
we'll do about a year.
About a year.
In barrel before we bottle it.
And then how does the sparkling process work?
So that's a long conversation, but to
Give me
condense
the
it,
elevator pitch.
we're making what's known as a cuvee. So it's a Blanc to Blanc, all Chardonnay. So it's the one non-Bordeaux grape we have on the property. So for the past 4 years, we've taken these early harvests of the Chardonnay. They're really high acid, and if you think about champagne, it's very tart. There's a lot of acid going on, freshness. So we'll blend this together. We've picked 3. We already have the cuvee set up, and then you will re-inoculate that, and you would add some primer sugar. Then you bottle it, and as that culture grows and does its work and starts to re-ferment the wine, you capture all the pressure. And after that, so it's about either a month and a half, really cold temperatures in the bottle fermentation, and then you let it sit there for 3 years. And
That's where the magic happens.
3 years?
I would say, yeah, we're predictions. We're
Is
not
that why
sure.
champagne's expensive?
That's one of the reasons for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot
Pay
of
for time.
patience. Plus, like
Wow.
Dom Perignon, they're minimum 7 years, so it sits in the bottle on the lees for 7
Trash
years.
time.
Trash time.
7 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Some are
wow.
more than that. Some are less, and it kind of depends on the style of wine that you want to make.
That's
and
so
we actually
interesting.
don't know yet. So we won't know
Yeah,
until
we're
we
gonna
know.
keep tasting.
Yeah.
So once
How do you that's got to be hard to plan.
that is.
That kind of stresses me out. I'm a planner.
Yeah.
Like, well, we'll give it a few more months.
No, I love the bit of chaos of winemaking, and
Yeah.
a lot of it's out of your control of the weather, and then even microbes like yeast do their own thing sometimes and don't behave.
Yeah, we drive the tasting lodge crazy because they're like, so when can we start selling this?
You're like, I don't know.
This is not a canned
You'll
soup
know when
factory.
you know.
Yeah.
But we've been at it a while, right? I mean,
Right.
the vineyard was planted across 2015 and 2016. The first vintage of the mountain was made in 2019. So
Yeah.
less trash time now, because now we just have this constant reload. You
Yeah,
know,
it's that
we're-
first initial,
the initial
couple years.
6 years
Yeah,
really
yeah.
it's a long time from
Yeah.
when you plant red wine grapes to when you get a decent product in the bottle. It's a long
So you
way.
guys have kind of made it through that first hard 6 years.
During that COVID period too,
Yeah.
I was listening to the news last night, is people talking about their COVID era kind of change and things like that, and this was sort of a product of that. We opened our business in 22
Right after.
right, which is
yeah.
very interesting. I mean,
timing,
it was good timing for us
Yeah.
to be in that lull period where we were really just
Well, you opened, but
crafting the
you had
wines,
already
things like
been
that.
working long before 2022.
Right.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
just not selling anything
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we opened our tasting lodge doors to start selling product in May of 22 or August of 22,
Yeah.
summer of 22.
We
Okay.
set the actual winery, like the production facility, up in 19.
Okay.
That was our first harvest. I mean, I think we got the green light to do it in 2019, and still did that harvest that year.
Yeah, it was that
Yeah.
it was that spring. So it was everything
It was close.
from equipment to drains to insulation to
Yeah.
Wow.
temperature control.
No other winery in North
wild.
Carolina has been set up like that with that amount of patience. And because we're an estate product, like Katie was saying, we're really proud of that. Dynamis Estate Wines is in our name. We never used other products. It was always
Your
Always
wine.
ours.
our wine.
Off
And
Yeah.
rip from the
that's
get-go.
hard to do without the right property and the right people and
No
things like
doubt.
that. So patience is key, and these guys definitely have plenty of that.
But the recent accolades really prove that, proof of concept on that for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, not just the wine scores. That was one thing. I don't know if we were on time, but we were nominated for North American Winery of the Year. From Wine
Wow.
Enthusiast. So that's the first time that's ever happened in North Carolina.
Congratulations.
So we've had a lot of first for NC things going on. We actually feel like we're part of the greater wine community outside of our own borders. And yeah, that was super humbling. Love that. There was nothing like being nominated for that, because it's 11,600-ish wineries in North
Jeez.
America, and they pick 5.
And you guys are one of
every
those
year.
5.
One of the 5, yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so big tough for NC.
That is
Pretty
huge.
exciting.
I just
Yeah.
want to make sure we got that one in.
Yeah,
before we ran out of time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that should have been what you opened with.
I know we
Come
talked about the
on.
scores, and I'm like, oh yeah, we could have probably just segued into.
I mean, that's like
the
a
one star.
0.00001%.
Right. Yeah. It'll to get that this early in our careers was really fantastic.
Yeah. That just proves that the next 5 to 10 years are going to be
Right.
insane.
We have a lot more to do.
Yeah.
We could all retire and say, well, we did it. There's nothing else to do now.
But then what would you do? You'd
Exactly.
be
Let's
bored.
start another winery.
Personally, very rewarding, and then a great thing for all of North Carolina, like Matt was saying. I mean,
Yeah,
Sure.
it is.
you know,
yeah.
it really puts us on the map as a legitimate producer, right? It shows that great wines can be made in our region, and then just, you know, I think inspires other people to, you know, shoot for the stars. Don't put a ceiling on quality for North Carolina, and let's see how far we can take it. So
I love
it's,
that.
you know, a first part of a very long process of, you know, becoming serious players in the world wine game.
Yeah, it brings a lot more attention to the state, and that's what we're all about as well. So
Which I love that. It doesn't need to be all about California, you know?
Yeah, they had their time.
So before we wrap things up, I just want you guys to say where we can find Dynamis on social media, online, how we can make a visit, if we need to do reservation, all that good stuff.
I'll do it. Of course, yeah. DynamisEstateWines.com. You can make a reservation on the website. You can call the tasting room to make a reservation. We will not turn you away if we have space and you do not have a reservation. There's a little confusion with that. It is better for you. It is better for us. We're really small group.
Yeah.
Not a lot of staff, and it's seated, so there's no bar. That's the thing. So you're gonna get your own little private spot with your own attendant to go take you through a tasting. If you're doing it for the first time, do the estate tasting. Do not do the flight. I won't, give yourself the opportunity to learn more about what we grow up here, how the wines are made, and it's a little bit more educational than just the flight. If you've done it a few times and you said, I don't want to talk to anybody, go ahead and do the flight. But
Okay.
for your first time, do the estate tasting. You won't regret it.
Definitely come up to the tasting lodge. We're in Jonesville, which is just south of Elkin. We're
Okay.
right off I-77, exit 79.
What days of the week are y'all
An
open?
hour north of Charlotte, 45 minutes west of Winston, so it's super easy to get to. We're open Wednesday through Sunday from 11 to 5.
Okay.
And yeah,
12 to 5 on Sunday.
we 12 to 5 on Sunday. Thank you. And we really, we want people to come up there and really immerse yourself in the experience, see what it's all about. You won't be disappointed.
Awesome. Well, as always, it was a pleasure to chat with y'all. Thanks for bringing the wine this time.
Yeah.
And these beautiful glasses. It is
Absolutely. It's
amazing.
fantastic.
It's incredible.
Thanks for having us. It's fun. I said I wish these were longer talks, honestly.
I know. We'll do it again soon, I promise.
for sure.
All right, so check out Dynamis online, book your reservation, and as always, you can find Forsyth Mags online at forsythmags.com, as well as on Instagram at Forsyth Mags. And if you enjoyed this episode, or if you've ever enjoyed an episode, we would love it if you would leave us a rating and a review. And that's it. That's a wrap for today.
cheers.
Cheers.
There's the one glass.
Slancha.
The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Whew, that's a mouthful.